It may come as a surprise, but Robert and Wes from Gaming Off the Grid began chopping wood on their YouTube journey 3.5 years ago, and to this date, neither individual has released their personal top 10 video games of all time. Welcome to a two-part series, where Wes and Robert will reveal their personal top 10 video games of all time. In today's episode, Wes is in the hot seat. What are the games that made Wes the gamer he is today? You're gonna have to stay tuned. Welcome to part 1 of Gaming Off the Grid's top 10 video games of all time.
Tubers and trolls, Chris here with Telesplash Gaming, one of the OG members of the Brew Crew with you, and you're watching my buddies Robert and Wes live out their nerd fantasies, drinking beer and playing games at Gaming Off the Grid.
Well, here we are. I guess I am in the hot seat thanks to good old Sam Azira.
Yep, this is going to be tough.
So it's time for me to tag 5 people. So, Gaming Off the Grid, you've been a big supporter of my channel, and I'm so sorry I'm doing this to you guys. Wes and Robert, I want to see your top 10 list. So, you're my number 1.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done our personal top 10s on the channel before. It's like a living, breathing thing.
It's always changing.
Yeah.
This list was so hard. I luckily don't have to talk about mine today, but it will be coming up soon.
Yeah.
And it took me so long to come up with my list because I was like scratching stuff out and putting stuff in, and then I remembered other games. So I'm really excited to hear yours because I have no idea what it is.
Number 10.
Starting off, number 10 is a classic PS2 game, and I'll never forget the first time I played it. And it's the original God of War.
Whoa, okay, good pick.
I was not really into this type of game at the time that I played this. It would have been my freshman or sophomore year of college, and there was a guy that lived across the hall from me and was like, hey, you have to play this. Try this game. And so I had it for a couple weeks and just was like, But I've always been into like Greek mythology and things like that, and when I put it in, I was blown away. The hack and slash mechanics are awesome. The boss fights are unbelievable. And the game, I think if you played it for just a little bit, people would think, it's just, button mash, figure it out. Once you start learning the attacks and everything, The game comes full circle. I still prefer this style of God of War to the new, style of the PS4 one.
Yeah.
The PS4 God of War is amazing. But this one was awesome. And I loved 2 and I loved 3. But the reason I went with this one is just because it was the starting point. Yeah, it was the first time I played the series, and I absolutely fucking loved it.
That's a great pick. That's such a good game.
Number 9.
It's the best racing game I've ever played in my life. And it's Burnout 3 Takedown.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love this game. There's just not enough good things to say about it. The game really, really, really does a great job of changing up the play styles with varying races and events, from the crash event to Grand Prix and everywhere in between. It never gets stale.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would recommend is don't do all the crash events first.
Yeah, so when I first started playing Burnout 3, I fell in love with it because of the crash elements. I didn't really care about the racing, but then once I got into the game, I love all the different styles of the race. But don't do the crash events first. You want to space them out and do everything together, because then you're stuck with just racing, and it's hard racing, and that's a great freaking game. That's such a good game.
Absolutely love that game.
Number 8.
I think most people would go with the second game in this series, but there is something about Donkey Kong Country 1 that I just can't get enough of. I love the music. I think it's one of the best soundtracks. The song Aquatic Ambience is one of the best video game songs ever. You guys know this song.
Such
Swimming
a good
Levels.
vibe.
This just stands out to me because it's been a big part of my life since 1997. It's when I got my Super Nintendo. Yes, I was late to the party. I actually had asked for an N64, got a Super Nintendo instead, and the Donkey Kong Country was packed into it. And I remember I had friends with N64s, I had friends with PS1s, and I remember still being blown away by the graphics in that game. And I still am blown away by the graphics to this day. I love the second one. The third one's okay. But none of them have that connection with me and the charm that the first one has.
Yeah, the first one, because that's the first one you played.
Yeah, I just love the game. Donkey Kong Country.
Number 7.
This game probably would have been in my top 15 NES games of all time until I played it 2-player. And the game is by Konami. and the game is Jackal.
Yes, dude. So glad you put this on your list.
I love playing this game co-op.
It's so good.
I did rent it a lot as a kid, never owned it, but played it mostly one player because my brother's 4 years younger than me. And so you got to think, when he was like 4 and I'm 8, 9 range, he's not the best gamer at that time. So playing co-op Jackal was kind of like, dude, come over here. No, dude, drive over here. And it wasn't playing with like someone else that was like an equally good gamer. And the times we have had with the game, 2-player, are just amazing. We've beat it. We're trying to no death run it.
Yeah, we're working on no death run. Dude, that game is so good.
Yeah, I love it. And I've always liked it.
The music's
I
great.
now really love it.
I'm so glad, because I didn't know that game existed when I was a kid. And then like we started playing it and I was like, what is this? So simple but so hard and fun. Oh.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Number 6.
I honestly could have went with probably 4 games from this franchise, but at this moment in time, I'm going to go with Contra 3: The Alien Wars.
Whoa, okay.
As of right now, it's the Contra game that I'm into the most. It's the Contra game that I'm probably the best at, and I'm not epic or anything like that, but I love this game. And we're working through hardcore right now.
That game's bad.
Like I said, hardcore could come up and maybe dethrone it on my list, which is a Sega Genesis game if you didn't know. And I love Contra and Super C, but at this point in time, I would go with Contra 3: The Alien Wars. It's just really high on my list right now. And I do go back and I play it even after Death Rain It when we did that co-op run. And I still have a great time and I remember everything. And it's just a really fun game to go back to.
Dude, that game is so awesome. I just remember we grinded through when we were doing our playthrough of that. We were like, all right, not good enough. Do it again.
Yeah.
We know that game so well because we played it so much.
Yeah, we had a work party recently, and one of the guys brought his retro pie, and everybody's playing, old school games and talking or whatever. And one of the guys is talking about how hard that game is, and I was like, I'm actually pretty good at it. And he's like, oh, whatever. He's like, let's play it then, So he's 2-player, and he didn't make it out of the first level. And I had a no death going like into level 4.
And that's with not playing it for a
And
while.
then I could kind of sense everybody's kind of like, okay, we want to play now. And I was like, all right, guys.
You're like, all right, let me just jump off the cliff.
Yeah, so anyways, I love that game.
That's a great pick.
Number 5.
I gotta go with WWF No Mercy.
Damn, this is number 5.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's my favorite wrestling game of all time. It still plays well to this day. I liked all the THQ, AKI, Aki, however you say it, games on the N64. So like, if this wasn't here, if this game didn't exist, WrestleMania 2000 would be here. I don't think Revenge would be this high on my list, but I like WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy a lot. But I like No Mercy just ever so slightly more. Has to do with the backstage areas. But I just love the game. I think they just nailed it. In wrestling games, they were pretty damn good in the SmackDown and SmackDown vs. Raw series, but they never quite reached this level, in my opinion.
Number 4.
I remember it feeling so rewarding, the journey through this game, and it was a game my mom was way into when I was like 3-4 years old, and that is The Legend of Zelda.
Oh, the original.
On NES.
Nice.
I'm a huge Zelda fan, but I like this game the most. I'm the best at this game of the games that I have played in this series. It's a game that I like to go back to every couple of years. Right when the NES Classic came out, first game I beat on it was Legend of Zelda.
Damn.
I loved the game. I still remember where damn near everything is. It's just a fun romp. I like so many of the other entries, but like A Link to the Past, that's everybody's like kind of crown jewel. I don't like it like this game. There's something about this game that connects with me.
It's because it's the first one you played.
Yeah, and I remember my mom being way into it. Like, and back in the day, you guys gotta remember before the internet and stuff, like, my mom was drawing maps and had them, like, out on the floor.
It's so cool trying to figure out where stuff is.
Yeah, and if you accidentally found, like, where a bush could be burnt, you gotta mark that, right?
So
It was crazy stuff. And I beat it when I was, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years old, with the help of my cousin, she was a little bit older than me, but we were, like, so hardcore into this game. So, Legend of Zelda, it maybe even could be higher now that I think about it, but it's number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3 goes to Super Mario Brothers 3.
The third one. I think that's a great pick because I think 3 is like the perfection of 1 and 2. That's a really good game.
Maybe worth stating, I probably should have stated this earlier, I only went with 1 entry from every respective franchise. This list could have got a little blasé if I you know, because I could go hardcore into some of these series, but Super Mario 3 to me is just the perfection of the series. Super Mario World is really damn close for me, but I've got way more windshield time with Super Mario Brothers 3. There's something about it, something about the charm, what they were able to do with that game on the NES, and the progression. You know, 1 is so different from 2, obviously. We know the reason why. But then even on to 3, you know, they just kind of perfected things. Super Mario World is epic too. And if you catch me on the right, you know, time frame, maybe that would be closer, but for me it's Super Mario 3. It's just a classic. And the music's awesome.
That game is so good.
Yeah.
The power-ups, the overview map, I like how it's hard, and it's such a good game.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's fantastic.
Number 2.
This could easily be number 1 at times too, but I'm going to go with Metal Gear Solid 3.
Ooh, wow.
I played this game so much in college. I know so much about this game as far as where things are. I could put it on right now and I could probably find everything, and I haven't beat it in a few years. I love this game. I love the game before it came out with the subsistence or whatever, where it moved the camera. I liked it when it's still the top down. I like it with the adjusted camera. I like the HD versions. I like everything about the game. I love the way the story's told. It's a prequel. As far as the series goes, Metal Gear Solid 1 is really, really, really close.
Yeah, that game is incredible.
It's really close, but I still prefer Metal Gear Solid 3. So that's number 2 on my list.
Wow.
Some honorable mentions that really stand out to me that I wish wasn't able to fit into my list. And they're really, really important games to me, so I want to give them a little tug. All right? Castlevania.
The first one?
I would go with the first one. 3 is probably the best in the series, in my opinion. Or 4. I'm not talking before they... This is before they get to the Metroidvania style. I kind of break Castlevania into 2 chunks. So, you know, if I had to go whole series, Symphony of the Night is definitely up there. But when I'm just talking regular Castlevania games, I would go 3, probably. But 1, I've got such a connection. Again, I was really close with my cousin. She's like a sister of mine, and we played the shit out of Castlevania when I was growing up. I just love the game. It's another game. I remember so much about it. I remember like where the stuff's hidden. I remember the like the spots in the floor, the
where
wall
you get the points and stuff. Yeah.
It's a game I've spent so much time with, and there's nothing about it I would change. Yeah, they did some really cool shit in Castlevania 4 and some of the other entries, but 1 is just fine. It's perfect. There is obviously the knockback and the
jumping.
Yeah, but I'm so past it. I'm so used to that it doesn't matter. I would throw Ninja Gaiden, the first one, in my honorable mentions. I love that game. It used to kick the shit out of me as a kid.
It's a hard game.
I really like it. Batman on the NES would be an honorable mention as well.
Sunsoft. The music
Really like
in
that game. That's kind of my little bit of NES stuff there. On the PS2, Vice City was a game changer for me.
Grand Theft Auto, baby.
That would be an honorable mention. Kind of a weird one for me that was really close to making my list was Red Faction 2.
Oh, wow.
If you haven't had my experiences, you don't understand. But playing that game 4-player multi-tap on PS2 is nuts. It's freaking nuts.
It's insane. The last time we played it, I was like finally getting the hang of it and like was actually winning some rounds. And that game is badass, destructible environments. All the guns. The game's so much fun.
Yeah, and I'm probably forgetting some stuff. The SmackDown Here Comes the Pain game would be an honorable mention. The House of the Dead series. The games are just a little clunky for me to have it in my top 10.
But they're impactful for the channel.
Yeah,
and they're
for
badass,
sure.
like arcade games.
For sure.
Number 1.
And just so you know, people know, this is my list.
Yeah.
Right? This is my list. This is part of my gaming journey. Everybody's list should be different. There should not be a homogenized list out there because we have all walked down different roads, wearing different pair of shoes, and had different just friends and connections behind
Influences.
games. And that really matters, you know? Like the Castlevania and Zelda games for me were like, because of the connections I had with the people I played with them. That's why Burnout 3 and Contra 3 is on this list. But anyway, number 1. It's one of the only video games me and my dad ever bonded around. My dad's not a big gamer. It's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Well, I'm not surprised this is number 1.
This game, it's so weird. It's always been there for me. Never forget, my dad was really good at it, and he never got Tyson. And I remember beating Tyson. I was probably 7 or 8, and like running upstairs and telling him. My dad's like, "Oh, bullshit." And I'm like, "No, I did, Dad." You know, he comes downstairs. He's like, "Prove it, fucking prove it, dude." And so I put it in, and it took me a couple times, but I ended up getting him again. And it was weird. The first time I beat him by decision. And so I was like, I felt like so lucky.
Yeah, you were like, oh.
And if I remember right, obviously I was 7 or 8 years old, but I'm pretty sure he was beating the fuck out of me. Like, I was him too, but it was close.
Yeah, you were like,
and when the ref turned and pointed to me, I remember just literally like, I did it! I freaked out. But this game, I like Super Punch-Out as well, but not on this level. It's been a big part of my life, and it's a game that I feel like I have this burning desire to keep my chops up in it. Like,
yeah.
I play it a lot. It never fails. If I go down to my garage and I'm milling around and the NES catches my eye, I'm like, let's go, Tyson. Coming in hot, buddy.
You have Tyson's code memorized.
Oh yeah, yep. And so I just love the game. I feel like I'm pretty damn good at it. I've met very few people that are as good at me at that game, but it's because I've played it so much.
Yeah.
I'm nothing special. It's just a matter of that I've played the game a ton. I know like so many different ways to beat each guy too, and different strategies, and I don't know. I could go on and on about how much I adore that game, but it's a game that, no joke, not even exaggerating, I at least beat it 10 times a year. At least.
Holy crap, I've never beaten it.
At least. It's a game I just love throwing in because it's a pretty quick beat, and you just gotta keep your chops up. You don't want to let Tyson catch you. You slow down.
If you start slipping, Tyson will come for you.
Yeah, he will. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 10.
Damn.
Maybe it gave you a little bit of insight on my gaming journey. I tried giving you some stories in there as well. But that's my top 10.
Dude, I'm surprised a Madden didn't make at least honorable mentions.
Yeah, it probably should. It's been a big part of my life, but it's hard to, an annual release, single out.
Different type of game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do play a ton of Madden, but as far as my top 10 video games ever made, now, if I did like game series, I probably would put it in there.
Yeah, game
but
franchises. Yeah.
it's like, which one? Where do you go? Because like I play like the newest one quite a bit with my buddy Nick, but the game's not good. But I love football, and it's fun to play two-player.
Yeah, playing it online.
So anyway.
What a list.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because this is so tough.
It is.
I'm so nervous to do mine because I keep looking at my list and I'm like, oh, I need to change it. I need to move things around. I'm nervous for it, but you know what makes me feel better about my nervousness is drinking beer. So what do you think of this beer that was sent to us by Kyle Martin?
Yeah.
Fan of the channel. This is
actually got it in the mail today.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Drinking it. 2021, a candy cane milk stout. Candy cane Oreo pie pastry milk stout comes in at 8% by R. Shea Brewing.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it. From Akron, Ohio.
Out of Dan Aykroyd, Ohio.
Yeah, Dan Akron,
Nice.
Ohio. What do you think?
I like it. I'm not a big, I just gotta say, peppermint and me are kind of like, I've never really loved it. I don't love like mint ice cream.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But this is, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I'm sitting next to a big Christmas tree and we have like no room and we're like, but I kind of feel like it kind of gets me in the mood for opening some presents.
Yeah, this is definitely a holiday beer. I could see you drinking this Christmas morning, right when you wake up. 'Tis the season. I will say, this beer is a really easy drinker. There's not much chew to it. It swallows easily.
It's a thinner on the mouth.
I will say that the peppermint flavor, I feel like the aroma of the peppermint is stronger than the actual flavor itself. So like when I'm smelling the glass and going for a drink, it's like overpowering, but then like the taste itself is not.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more peppermint taste. It says Oreo pie on here, and I do get kind of a little bit of a creaminess, but not much.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is really good and really enjoyable.
Yeah, I think the peppermint, I don't want them to dial it up anymore because I'm not a big fan of peppermint, but I do think it's just at least in my opinion, it's just like the right amount, but you want more.
I always want more.
Yeah.
This is a really good, straightforward milk stout with those nice sprinkles of flavor in there. Yeah.
So thanks a ton, Kyle Martin. Freaking awesome package, man.
Yeah,
Send
thank
us
you so
some
much.
brews and some games, and you didn't
Really
have to do
appreciate
that,
that.
brother. Thank you so much. Literally, we opened and was like, what the hell's this guy doing, bro? Thank you, though. We really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the top 10. We don't do a lot of, top 10-y type
but
stuff.
we got freaking tagged in this, and now I think it's your turn to tag some other channels.
Yeah, and the fun thing about this is even if a channel that I mentioned has done this before, hopefully this list is ever changing and always evolving. So I would like to hold a couple people's nuts over the fire here. I would like to see Megadan29.
Ooh, I would love to see his list.
Do a top 10. And I'd like to see Telesplash Gaming do a top 10.
I see. He's gonna be funny.
I want to see Captain Algebra do a top 10. And I'm going to try getting somebody to resurrect their ass, get their ass up, and make another damn video. TeeBelly.
Ooh, TeeBelly's
So your
top 10.
He's taking a little break from from YouTube, but maybe this will be enough to say, get your ass up and let's go, son.
Dude, I would love to see TeeBelly's top 10.
So anyway, there you go.
That's, oh man. Here we go.
All right.
Next. I'm next.
Yep.
I'm nervous.
Well, you got a little bit of time, but not much. The clock's ticking. All right, guys. We appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
I think that's pretty good.
What'd you think of the list?
I think that's a good list, dude.
That is my top 10 video games of all time. To me.
But what's your number one?
It's... Oh. God dang it. This list was put together pretty quick. I only did one review. God damn it.
Going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's his list.
Well, here we are. I guess I'm in the hot seat, thanks to none of the... Throw that into test.
Yeah, that's a good tester.
Absolutely. Number 3.
Number 3? You went to 10 to 3.